The first thing I want to stress is just how heavy the package is. Got a little bit of damage. The other corners are okay. A little bit of damage. That's kind of a bummer. Founders Edition came damaged in shipping. But look how heavy it is. Dang. And then also right here, came damaged. After waiting, you know, since last July, it's very disappointing to have a damaged box like that. Oh well. Hopefully the unit's not damaged. It's neat, it has a little flag right here. I like how it's shrink wrapped. You know, it's kind of shrink wrapped. Get it out of the shell. At least there's no damage to the unit, so I'm happy for that. Look at it, it's beautiful. Like, it's way better looking in person than it is that I've seen on videos, on some videos. Oh, it's hard to get that on. It's so shiny. It's so shiny and crystally. Okay, let's see what else is in the box. This is part of what's so heavy, and it's damaged too, but water under the bridge. I've seen worse. Okay, so it's just the cabling. I didn't know this was coming with an HDMI. Official Commodore HDMI cable, very nice. Power adapter. I don't know what this is. What is that? Oh, the badge. It's like a badge necklace or something. That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that at all. That's a nice touch. The stickers. Sticker pack. There's more on here. Oh, look at that. It opens up. Very nice. And a cassette tape. The very second. Welcome to your digital oasis. It's part of the packaging. And it comes with a nice user's guide. Of course, every Commodore has to come with a user's guide, so this is beautiful. And let's see, they got a little certificate. That's cool. The owner of 64 commemorative shares in Commodore International Corporation. That's cool. See, it says on this day of July 31st, 2025. Very nice. And it's not shrink wrap, but it's in this little plastic. And again, the flag that's in the box, that is so cool. The inside of the box. It's just unfortunate that my box was shipped damaged, but I'm pretty sure the contents is gonna be just fine. I want to take a look at the box though. (128 megs of memory, turbo boost). So these are the different editions of the Commodore. So far I've only bought the Founders Edition, but I really like the Starlight. I like all three of them, but I like the Starlight because you could see through it. It has that clear case. Your data, not big data. BBS's, not social media. Study, not scrolling. Fun, not feeds. Classic form, ultimate function, distraction free. Commodore 64 Ultimate. Well, I have to say it is beautifully packaged, and I can't wait to dig in. Let's take a look at the power adapter. Oh, that's interesting. It's a clear power adapter. And then you have your choice of adapters to plug in, depending upon what part of the world you're in. And ours would be this one. It has a nice lengthy power cable though. Let's take a look at the book real quick. To get into it, I'm not worried about it. The user's guide with a quick start. About the Commodore 64 Ultimate User's Guide. Outstanding color, sound synthesis, graphics, computing capabilities. The synergistic marriage of state-of-the-art technologies, retro gaming heaven in 3 dimensions, silicon nostalgia and light. These features made the Commodore 64 Ultimate the most advanced personal computer in its class. This is part of the weight. This is a nice size book. Yeah, this is nice. I love this. Smells good too. It's like that new car smell. So this is what we get when you first power on the unit. You see I have the colors of the beautiful Commodore 64 right here. And you have the power LED. And what I've done, I've gone ahead and plugged this thing into, for now I just have it into the IEC or into the video port here. And I'm using the S video of this adapter and plugging it into the S video of my Checkmate monitor so that I can have the HDMI, which is plugged in here, go into my video capture source so I can capture the video separately. So I just wanted to show that. And then on the right side, what I have is the power cable, which I wish they would have put this power thing on the back. I don't know if there's a solution for that, but I don't like this wire hanging off the side too much. You already have to worry about the joystick, which I have plugged in right here. So that's, go look at any programs that need a joystick. And then what I thought I would do is go ahead and walk through some of the menus on the system. And how you do that is on the right side, push up to get into the menus. Now on the Commodore 64 Ultimate, on this new version, the menus have been completely redesigned from what Gideon used to put out on his own. So, and actually it seems like it's redesigned or reorganized in a much more efficient way. I think it's kind of cool. Right now I don't have a cartridge in, or I don't have a USB device in, but I'm going to throw one in. This one comes with the Commodore 64 Ultimate, and if we open it up, it's a little USB hiding in there. Use your finger, and boom. And so what I was going to do is plug that in so we could browse it. Just kind of show you what's on there. And yes, in my experience, you can plug this in while the system is running. And once you have something in there, I mean, you don't have to have it in there, but if you go in SD card, there's nothing there. There's nothing in internal or temp, but on the USB, this is what comes with the system. You have some games and BBS demos, and I'm using the arrow keys, my cursor keys right here, to go up and down. You can also use the controller. The controller also controls the menus, which I haven't really done much of that. So that is the disk file browser, and if you do select on something and you hit enter, it will launch that program. But before I do that, what I wanted to do was kind of go through these menus and make sure we're on the top level menu. And you have this Commodore file search. Now that's something new, and obviously right now I just hooked this up. I don't have anything connected to Wi-Fi, and there's nothing connected. So for now, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate that. You have the memory and ROMs. This is where you would go to change your REU if you wanted to enable it and be able to run games and things that require the extra memory. And then also you have your ultimate command interface, the ultimate audio, and you have the ROMs for your disk drives. And then you have the turbo boost. I don't remember it being called that, but now everything's been lined up here with turbo boost, and you can enable that to run Commodore 64 programs that are running too slowly. You can run it much quicker, up to, let's turn it on, 64 megahertz. See that? And right now just leave it off, and every time you make a change, when you hit run stop, it asks, do you want to flash or save the changes? I'm going to say no. Then you have your video. Right now I'm in PAL mode, and so here's where you would change to NTSC and the various options. So right now I'm just going to stick with PAL. You have your HDMI scan resolution, which I haven't really played with, but it's interesting that you have the options here to go to full HD 1080p. You have your scan lines enabled, palette definitions, and I don't know what these are, digital video mode and digital analog video mode. I just leave that alone and make any changes. There's some options in here for your audio mixer, your speaker mixer, the SID sockets configuration. I haven't put in any SIDs. I have not opened up this unit yet, so I have not put any physical SIDs in there. So I'm not going to save those changes. The joysticks and controllers, input normal, but you could do swapped here. This is where you would swap between port 1 and 2. And then that's interesting is that you can do the arrow keys, WASD, and have those emulate ports 1 and 2, which I haven't really played with. And then there's this paddle override, which I'm not sure what that is. I guess it's for paddle control. I'm not going to save any changes. And this is where you come into the LED lighting. This is the reason why I purchased the Founders Edition, and then I've also put on order the Starlight Edition because I like how they look when you mess with the LED lighting. Right now we have single fixed color, but what I like to set it to is SID music, and I just kind of like playing around with the colors, and you have the patterns. And so you could switch it around to rainbow mode, and you can switch this around to sparkle, and it will change colors. You notice the colors change a little as it goes. But I really like it on SID music. And then you can go left to right, right to left, serpentine or outward. I'm going to play around with that. And I am going to save that because I want my LED lighting. And you have network services and time zone here. I have not played with this because I don't have Wi-Fi enabled. And you can, that's interesting settings for FTP, web remote control service. I'd like to get into that later at some point. Wired network setup, just like I was saying, I don't have this enabled, so that's what the defaults are. Wi-Fi network setup. Modems. Those are the default settings for the modem. Printers. I don't have a printer. That would be nice to have set up. The user interface. These don't come with a user interface. That's a separate add-on I think you need. And then I do have some of those for my other Ultimate, so I could plug one of those up to use on this. The built-in drive A settings, built-in drive B settings, and the system information. I have not flashed this. This is how it came directly from the factory. And it thinks it's January 11th, 2025, which that's interesting. And you can page down through these. I didn't even realize that. So let's take a look quickly at the, let's go back to the disk browser and let's look at if we either pull up a game or pull up some music. I don't know. And you kind of see how the Commodore Ultimate just plays, along with the music, which I really like that. I think that's so cool. So, okay, I just wanted to show that. And I'm exiting out by hitting run stop. And my overall impression of the system, I think it's beautiful. It reminds me of like something straight out of King Tut's tomb or something. He was like, oh my gosh, King Tut had a Commodore 64. Man, he was ahead of his time. It's really impressive, and I do, if we zoom into the keys, you'll see that the keys have the PETSCII codes on there, or the images. Might be tough to make out, but yeah, the images are on there for the extended attributes or characters. And then I know there was some issue with the Commodore keyboards from factory that were sinking in. I guess if you push hard in the middle, it would dip down, and that was one of the reasons it caused the delay. I ordered this system last July, and I'm only just now getting my hands on it. So my only other disappointment that I have with the keyboard is the shift lock. So, and that's kind of how the keyboard sounds. But the shift locks, and you hold it, when you push it down, it locks, and it lights up that you're shifted. But I don't know, I just prefer the old keyboard where it actually physically locks in, and I'm not sure why they didn't do that. It kind of irritates me that it doesn't have. That's one little thing that bothers me about the keyboard. But other than that, I think it's a terrific system in general. Now, let's see. Let's go back into the menus. One thing I did forget to show is that if you were to hit F1, if you look at the menu down there, this is how you can navigate WASD, F1, F3 and F5 to page up and down, and then F7. If I hit F7, that's help. And once you're in the help, you can go up arrow and down arrow. And the intent of this portion of the video is not to show every last thing you can do, but I just wanted to show some of the menu items. There's extended options here when you hit F1. And you have your power and reset menu. So you can reset the computer, reboot while clearing memory. Powering off and power cycled are your options. And then the bottom two, you have to have, I believe the REU has to be enabled in order to get to those. And you got your built-in drive A options, built-in drive B options, your software IEC. I don't have that turned on, but that sort of makes the Ultimate act like a SD card or hard drive kind of interface. We have some additional options for printer and some options to save your configurations. The streams things I've never used. I'm not exactly sure what these bottom two, and developer is not something I would use. So I just kind of wanted to show those options. And oh yeah, and then if we go into the disk browser again, I just wanted to show page down is F5, and then page up is F3. And then again, F7 to help. Usually you hit that on accident, you're like, what is this? But that kind of helps you quickly get a grasp of what keys do what. So, and then of course you can go down arrow on that. And it's nice that you have the select features. You have control, like Commodore A, Control A, it's like Control A on Windows, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. You have the select all, which is Commodore A, deselect all, Commodore N. That's interesting. If you want to get to the home directory, it's just Commodore plus the home key. And so anyway, that is my quick walkthrough on the Commodore 64 Ultimate. This is the Founders Edition. It's a really neat product from Commodore, and I think what I'll do is in my next video I will put out how to do, it should be a short video just doing the firmware update, the first firmware update and covering its features. And then after that, what I plan to do is another unboxing of the Starlight Edition, which I just received today. And today's date here is April 19th, 2026, and I just received, I've had the Founders Edition here, and it's taken me a few weeks to get to this video right here, but I've only had it for like 2 weeks and I've been playing around with it a little bit. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.